here and his personal terms. He'll arrive and probably stay here the rest of the evening. They'll get that sorted out, and then hopefully, all things being well, he should sign on that dotted line for a year-long, season-long loan. And that, of course, costing Manchester United between £5 and £6 million, plus his wages. And United will also have the option then of making that a permanent deal at the end of the season. So a big day for United. We've had some drama in the past. Last year it was Marouane Fellaini. 6 years ago, of course, Dimitar Berbatov arrived on the final day. Shadowy scenes at Old Trafford, but I think this is the biggest yet, and the biggest shock, certainly, when you think of the riches that Manchester United have, not only in their transfer kitty, but also on the pitch for Louis van Gaal, Wayne Rooney, Robin van Persie, Angel Di Maria, Juan Mata, and now Radamel Falcao. As I say, should all happen very, very quickly. I think we'll be here, though, quite late. They are going to be pushing it to get all this thing done, signed off and sealed, for him to be a Manchester United player by 11 o'clock this evening.
What about any other business that you can tell us about for United, James?
Well, in terms of incomings, I think that probably is it, and I think part of that is to do with the truncated nature of this window and the fact they've left themselves with sort of 6 hours to get a major signing done. It's a shock signing, no doubt about that, but I think it's all hands to the pump here at Carrington to make sure they get that done. So I can't see any other incomings. We know all about Javier Hernandez. He's moved to Real Madrid. That a season-long loan again, but Madrid with the option of making that a permanent deal at the end of the season. I think there are huge question marks over Tom Cleverley and Danny Welbeck. Now, if you listen to what Louis van Gaal's been saying over the last couple of weeks, he said it's down to the players to make decisions, and I think that's the kind of ball court we're in tonight. I think there are deals there if the players want them. They could go to other clubs and play football. I think Manchester United almost amenable in helping them get to those clubs, and perhaps if they go on loan, taking some of those wages and paying for it themselves. But I think the onus is on the players now. If Tom Cleverley and Danny Welbeck want to play football in the Premier League or elsewhere, it's down to them. I think Manchester United more than happy for them to go and do that, but it might be tonight that they do remain at Manchester United and perhaps fight for their places. But at the moment, they're not part of Louis van Gaal's plans, and what plans they are. That's the big question. How on earth did you get all this together and get Manchester United not only back to winning ways, but back up the Premier League table? But Falcao should be here in a matter of minutes.
Exciting times for Manchester United fans. We'll be back around the grounds and the training grounds for you shortly, but pleased to say that joining us here in the studio with Kirsty and myself this hour is Christian Purslow, the former Liverpool chief executive. Christian, nice to see you, as ever. This is a fascinating deal, isn't it, this, with Falcao to Manchester United. I think most of us thought City was the club he was heading to when we woke up this morning. All changed. What did you make of it when you heard about this deal?
Well, like you, I was surprised, but pleasantly surprised. I think Ed Woodward and Manchester United have taken a lot of criticism during this window. One of the reasons they've been criticised is signalling their intent. And for the first time, I think they've really surprised people with this signing. I really like it. I think it makes sense. Reminds me a little bit of the Torres situation to Chelsea, and I think Manchester United might have learnt that lesson. Another Atletico Madrid legend, 28 years old, coming off the back of a World Cup that in this case he missed. I think Manchester United is saying, you know what? The kind of price, 50, 60 million to buy this player when he's coming back from a cruciate injury, probably makes sense to have a look for a year. They can easily absorb the wages given their burgeoning commercial revenue, and if it works out, maybe they acquire him next summer. The other thing that caught my eye is they're obviously deciding it's about goals. Look at Liverpool last year, scored well over 100 goals, let 50 in, but were comfortably second in the league. I think Manchester United is saying we need goals, and this guy's a proven goal scorer.
Yeah, it is a try before you buy, so it makes financial sense. I
think it makes huge financial sense. I've heard people speculating that somehow they're loaning him because it helps them get round financial fair play. No club in Europe is in a better position regarding financial fair play. Manchester United's commercial revenues are tremendously strong and growing. They've got the new Chevrolet deal, £57 million a year. Adidas paying them next year £75 million. They can easily absorb the wages, and I'm sure if they wanted to, they could have acquired him, but they decided, you know what, probably with the injury risk, also the question of where they are in a year's time. If they're back in the Champions League, maybe they'd feel more comfortable committing the transfer. I think it's an extremely smart deal, and I think people should applaud what they've done.
Take us inside the walls of Carrington or of Old Trafford today, and what will it be like right now for the hierarchy at Manchester United? They've got this big deal in the pipeline. They're also trying to offload players, as we know. Will it all be Ed Woodward? Will it be a team of people doing this?
No, there'll be a team of people around. Obviously, the player will need to have a medical, and as I've suggested, I think the recent cruciate ligament injury will loom very large this evening. I also think we should talk a second about the terms that are going to be negotiated with the player himself. Obviously, Monaco are willing to let him go out on loan. Manchester United will be paying this footballer. This was a player who went to Monaco, tax-free, 12 million euros a year of salary. Now, in England, for that footballer to be paid the same, he would need to earn a new high in the Premier League, probably something order of the magnitude of £350,000 to £400,000, given tax rates in the United Kingdom. I'd be intrigued to know whether Falcao is taking a pay cut to come and play at Manchester United or not. We may never know. But one thing's for sure, this is a hugely remunerated footballer, and Manchester United are absorbing that.
Are you surprised to say they're not spending money on more defenders?
Well, I certainly think that most Manchester United fans would like to see a direct replacement for Rio Ferdinand or Nemanja Vidic, and I think many Man United fans also for a long time have been looking for a really conventional holding central midfield player as well. But as I said just now, scoring goals in the Premier League translates into 3 points, and they will be looking at Falcao's record, nearly a goal a game at Porto and at Atletico Madrid, and saying, with Rooney, RVP and Falcao, we're not going to be short of goals. And one other point, let's remember, Arsenal fans would confirm this, RVP's track record in terms of games per season, in terms of injuries, is a bit iffy. And I think Falcao provides direct cover if RVP isn't quite right.
And as a man who's been in the shoes of Ed Woodward, you know, chief executive of a very big football club, have you felt for him during some of the criticism he's received? Has it all been fair?
I think it's been, he has become the story, and that's because actually with the departure of David Moyes and the replacement with Louis van Gaal, most commentators think that's a very, very impressive managerial appointment. And so ironically that's shifted the emphasis now away from have you got the right coach to have you got the right chief executive delivering in the transfer market, and that's an uncomfortable position. The best run clubs have very, very low profile chief executives, and the person who invented that was David Gill at Manchester United. Very, very rarely seen and heard, but an effective partner for Sir Alex Ferguson. And I suspect that Ed Woodward would hope this window to end and for him to be able to disappear back into the shadows.
And if this does go through the Falcao deal, off the back of the Di Maria deal, has he really restored his reputation?
Well, again, it's not quite as simple as that. It isn't difficult to buy players. It isn't difficult to pay players huge amounts of money. What is important is that they're the right players and that they deliver. Football is full of expensive signings that don't work out, so it's far too early to judge both of those players. Certainly, if I was a Manchester United fan, I'd be very excited by their array of attacking talent. But the judging will take place in about 9 months' time if Manchester United are back in the Champions League. That's what this is all about.
OK, we'll have more from Christian Perslow very shortly, but in the meantime, let's join Anna Woolhouse, who's at the social media desk.
Yeah, it certainly is one of the biggest stories, deadline day stories, to come out so far. But is Radamel Falcao what Manchester United actually need? That is a question we're asking you in our poll this evening. Get involved. Tweet us at Sky Sports News HQ, then followed by the hashtag Sky Deadline Day. Then it's quite simply either a yes or no. He is a world-class striker, but is a striker what Manchester United need? This is what we want to know from you this evening. Well, some of the big names in football have taken to Twitter this evening. Rio Ferdinand saying this: Falcao to Man United, great player. Will you be happy if he's the only signing today at Manchester United? Fans? Well, good question. Tweet us, let us know what you think. Well, on Instagram as well, that is the player that is coming to Manchester United, but the player that's leaving Manchester United, Javier Hernadez. This man here, lots of welcome messages there, as you can see, in Spanish. So how good your Spanish is, you can read those. Lots of those coming in on Instagram there. And we know he's going to be wearing the number 14 shirt there. And also this picture you can see there in the top right of my screen, a little bit of fun. It's been doing the rounds on social media today. A bit of a mock-up here implying that Hernadez is swapping the bench at Manchester United for the bench at Real Madrid. Make of that what you will.
Thanks very much for now, Anna. Big developments ongoing at Southampton this evening. Roger Clark's there for us. Good evening, Roger. What's the news?
Defender and a winger, and it looks as if they're taking a step forward in terms of securing both. I understand that two players, their two main targets, Sadio Mane and 11.8